How We Make Movies is brought to you by Microsoft Surface, Assimilate, Azo and AJA, Moviola, and Canon Hollywood.
And I had gone to Emerson in Boston. I went to Emerson because they had a good LA extension. And I knew that, okay, so I'll go to LA my final semester and I'll stay in Los Angeles, which I did. And I had that window when I was in LA to, you have to get an internship, but you have to get an internship or they send you home. Mm-hmm. And I was only taking one class at the time because I had enough credits. That was all I needed for graduation. So I ended up interning at Marvel Studios, which at the time they had not released Spider-Man yet. So I really didn't have a lot to do there. They had just made Spider-Man. They were in post-production on it. And I was spending most of the day like photocopying comic books and stuff. So I just called my advisor and I said, is there anything else I can do? Because I don't want to waste the time about being in LA, which is a huge part about kind of getting a foot in the door. Is just, you have to capitalize on every minute you have free to make opportunities for yourself. So I asked her about horror because it was something I was interested in at the time and had been all my life because of special makeup effects and stuff like that. And she gave me a list of the usual suspects like John Carpenter and Wes Craven's company, and Clive was on there, and Joe Daly had gone to Emerson for a year. He wasn't an alum, but he had gone there for a short amount of time.
Joe Daly worked for Clive Barker's company?
Worked for Clive at the time.
Okay. So the Alumni Connect.
It was the alumni. It was like, that's my best shot in because I can use that. And I just hounded him until, said, do you need an intern? And he's like, nah, not really. But I would just call him weekly the time I was here and be like, I have free time and come down, just convince him. And he was a great guy to talk to on the phone. He was nice and just keep putting yourself out there. And that's what I did. And then he brought me in finally for a meeting with Clive. And I think I had told you when we talked that at the time, that was certainly the most important meeting I'll ever have in my life because it was that meeting that put me into the business. It gave me that window in. It gave me that doorway into that. And I had gotten that job right out of college. So I had a job when I went back to Boston to graduate. So I was thrown into the fire producing.
You lucky devil.
I guess, it's
When I met him, he was like, yeah, so we got this project in the works and we want to do this movie and I'm writing this for Clive. I was like, wait a minute, you just got out of film school?
Yeah. How does that work that you go from asking for a free internship to producing?
Well, it was I think it was also working with Clive was a unique situation because he's an artist.
Yeah.
He's eclectic and he's creative, and the company, we were like a bunch of misfits and Joe. So I went in and saw there's room for growth here.
Yeah, obviously.
Because it was like, if you show initiative and you're creative, Clive's going to get behind you. But I was like thrown into these meetings with all these. We had projects at like every studio in Los Angeles, which was crazy. And
Tell me the story about how he always introduced you as his partner.
Yeah. So, I was. He did, which I always thought was hilarious. It's like, I was only like 22 at the time, and I was getting put in meetings I had no business to go into because. They were with literally the heads of the studios. So because Clive could get those meetings, So Clive would go in and I'd go with Joe. And I was like the only straight guy in the company at the time. And every time they'd bring me in, Joe would always introduce, here, this is my partner, Anthony DiBlasi. And I could see on some of their faces, they were like, why is he bringing his boyfriend to these meetings? Because I was so much younger than they were, and
you just go with it.
I just go
with it.
But it was funny because not until I could see it on their face, and not until later, Joe and I talked about it, is that someone actually asked him, why do you keep bringing your boyfriend to these meetings? He's like, no, partner, like business partner. He works for the company. Okay, that makes sense.